You've been in the space of HR right from the 1981 or something when you started your career. And it must have been a very different landscape then, and today it is different, and there is a future which is defined greatly by human resources as well, in the way the world of work is changing now. So how have you looked at this transformation that has happened, and how are you in a position to predict it, Mr. Ramesh?
What I would say is that if I look at the past, organizations evolved from society, and organizations, if you look at history of organizations, they were basically created to look at the welfare of humankind. Okay, but gradually organizations move towards a profit motive, and there's nothing wrong with that, I would say. But then profit became the ulterior motive of the organization rather than the goodness of society. So I think we have now come a full circle, and thanks to COVID and thanks to pandemics, or thanks to natural disasters like the flood in New York yesterday, and things like that, which people have suddenly started realizing that we are playing too much with nature and we need to get back to the fundamentals of why we exist. And so if you ask me in terms of what HR could do for the future in terms of organizations, is one is, I think, be able to build sustainable leadership and sustainable organizations. Because if we learn from, I mean, in India, we have a good example in the public sector, and some of the good companies like the Tatas, who have always stood. I remember there's this famous quote of J.R.D. Tata where somebody asked him that you produce CEOs for the country. And he said, yes, I don't mind if I'm producing. I mean, somebody asked him that many of your CEOs are leaving and joining other organizations. So he replied saying, if I'm ready, if Tata is able to produce CEOs for the country, then I don't mind, because that is what I want. He also went on to say that I want Tata's to be one of the happiest organizations in the world rather than the most profitable. So I think we have to look at it that way. Organizations have to become sustainable. How do we balance these needs of the organization in terms of money vis-a-vis the needs of society which they are serving, and not work at cross purposes? So that is something which I think we'll have to work on. The second is the balance between work and life. I think it has become very, I mean, I feel very touched when young people call me today also, and even from the organization that I worked, and they say that today, I mean, people think work from home is easy, but it becomes more difficult because I'm a working mother, and late at night I'm being asked to attend a call at 11 o'clock because it suits another country and things like that. And this never happened during the office working and things like that. But now work from home, everybody takes you for granted because they think that you are available 24/7. Okay. So I think it is important for HR to create the right balance between work and life. It is something which you may call it employee wellness or whatever, because otherwise employees, already there's a high burnout in terms of, like, for example, I spent almost 38 years in my career, and I lived a happy life right through my career, thanks to this basic quality of being content and being happy with what you have. And the value to give back to society, the value to be grounded, the value to be simple, the value to behave well, and things like that, which were inculcated in you by your family, by the society around you, by the organizations you served, and so on. And some illustrious leaders like J.R.D. Tata who were there around to tell us what is the right way to do business. So now I think that's something which HR should again focus. The first is about sustainable leadership and sustainable organization. The second would be about balance between work and life. And the third, I would say, is our willingness to adapt, learn, and relearn. Because one of the things which the pandemic especially has proved, that life changes in minutes. And you don't know, like, nobody expected Afghanistan to change overnight. Correct. Nobody expected a pandemic to touch every part of the world and completely bring the world economy to a grinding halt and things like that. Nobody expected India to go on a lockdown for 3 months and so on. So especially the last 2 years has taught us. I mean, I know CEOs who are dead against work from home, but today I don't think any CEO will say don't work from home, because everybody has accepted it, and the pandemic has forced people to accept. The staunch objectionists actually have started accepting it. So our ability to adapt uncertainty, our ability to learn, relearn, change the way we work, and continue to serve our customers, suppliers, employees in a way which everything becomes more sustainable is what I think will make organizations successful. So the organization which has employees which are adaptable, who are willing to learn and relearn every day, those are the people who are going to succeed. So if I have to summarize, I would say, as I said, sustainable leadership and sustainable organizations. The second is in terms of willingness to learn, adapt, learn and relearn. So that's the sort of thing which I would expect.
Correct.